So, first one. You should be able to see me. Red, orange, and yellow guy and a blue beard. Yeah, sometimes people call me Nearly Headless Nick. We already know that Jennifer's not going to get that reference, so because that's a Harry Potter reference. Yep, exactly. But the red, orange, and yellow, I point out because that means I'm the hottest thing inside the frame. Sorry, fellas, but that's just how this goes. I make that joke because I want you to remember what the colors mean. Now, we're looking for those cold spots like we said. Those cold spots are going to be blue and black. I want them to either take shape or to start moving on their own. So this thing will capture like windshields that are going to be much colder. It's based on whatever's inside the frame. When I say take shape, by the way, I want a head, shoulders, moving arms, and legs. That's what we've caught with this guy in the past. Hopefully that's what we'll capture again. I love to give you stats about my equipment because I'm not a TV show host and I'm definitely not a YouTuber like what you guys were mentioning earlier. So I capture 4 to 5 pieces on this guy per year that I would put my stamp of approval on, not per episode. Okay, so I have dozens of others that are maybes and a couple of like, not really sure on that one. But 4 to 5 stamp of approval per year. Just kind of keep that in perspective. Now, there's also a blue dot bouncing around the screen. I didn't point that out yet. So basically for Chris, the blue dot is there to show you the coldest spot in the frame at that particular moment. So we're looking for 15-degree temperature drops because it does have the temperature next to it. We are 75 degrees out here ambient, so I'm looking for 60 degrees and colder when I'm spot checking this particular camera. I want to make sure it's not a aluminum can on the ground, a sign that caught some wind, the windshield, so forth and so on. So we're going to talk a lot more with Chris as we kind of move through the night, but Chris, you will handle this guy.
Is that a lottery winning?
Oh.
Write that down.
Psychic medium ghosts
I got you.
that can see the future.
Oh, yeah.
Nice. All right, cameras, if you have one, hit those record buttons. Just be mindful of the vehicles that we have around us when we do spread out, because this is the way this one's going to work. Every single place we go to is going to have a different layout of how we operate. This one, I'm going to tell you the history, and we're going to spread out, staying away from the cars. I'll do 1 or 2 round robins with everybody, writing down a lot of notes, seeing what's going on with your devices, asking more personal questions, and then I'll regroup us to give you all of the answers and show you how it's tied together. This is where I start withholding information on purpose. All you communication device people, I am not going to be giving you questions here like what color was George Washington's white horse, like what we did over there with the big red barn. You're going to get your answers from your communicators. That's how this goes. Hopefully, and when we spread out, you guys are not going to be able to influence each other. You'll see how this works. And Eliza's garden lined up with 5 Church Restaurant over there and came all the way across. And in the back of the space is where the servant and slave quarters were for the home. That's the layout of the land. Who the hell were they? Charles and Eliza had a son named Charles. They had a nephew named Charles. That's 3 Chucks, in case you weren't paying attention. That's why we look for secondary clues. People from the time periods we're discussing tonight are all going to have the same damn names. I need to know which one it is in the event that the name Charles shows up on a spirit box. Hopefully it shows up on a different one. They're all 3 different things. So, by the way, can anybody not remember what my name was? I have your camera will
Trying to see how this looks on here.
Not a good place for something like this.
Yeah, I know there's a bunch of potholes.
Well, no, I mean, not really.
That's why if it does jump up.
Yeah. Maybe that's like the opening to where the mansion was.
Ask your questions.
I'm just trying to listen. I'm trying to figure out what the doctor thing that he was talking about.
Could be prominent, he's not telling us. I know.
Down. I didn't realize we were this close over there.
What? Oh, yeah. But that's the church I was talking about. I think it's called the Tempest. It's a restaurant.
Yeah, see me? I'd rather just be sitting and listening to him.
I know.
Instead of doing it. So
I
learn.
jumped up to it too.
Where did you start off? What was your base?
I don't have a base. It's all like two.
Tom Fernandez. It is. That's Tom Fernandez. Such a douche. It's like, really, dude? Really? Train horn?
Yeah. I'll give it 2.5.
By the electric?
Yeah, now it's gone. That's weird. Now it's 0. Yeah, it jumped up to 2.5 and now it's like
I'll
nothing.
go away from it. Yeah, so when you were close, you were at 3, right?
It was 2.5. Now it's nothing. I don't know if it works. They'd be blowing it up.
No.
I bet it wouldn't even work. I bet those are solar, so that's not going to work.
But that power box,
Yeah, but when I went back over there, it was nothing.
yeah, as I say, it had 2 plugs though. I guess maybe they're just dead. Three?
10.6.
Damn.
Yeah, now there's nothing there. You see anything?
70, 72.
I don't understand this temperature thing. It's got 3 numbers. Now look, see, it's like really hot.
Trying to keep it low and look at where you're pointing.
7, 1.1. What if it's here? 3.4.
One 1.4. Was it cold?
It was.
We're looking at getting one kind of like that, except it has a one where you can see where things are moving around. Like if someone was to pass in front of it, it works. It'll pass. Excuse me. So it shows, like if I went from left to right, you could see on a grid something moving left to right. So it picks that up.
Cool.
It looks like almost the exact same box.
Can I tell you something cool? So I was trying to figure out the one about the president.
Ball bearer?
Yeah, and it's 1026, and he was like, "That's not it." But Thomas was one of the names of her kids. Yeah, so it could have been a question or an answer to something I didn't ask instead.
Wagyu.
I'm trying to make words for this.
forget what you're looking for. Blue spots.
Yeah, just cold spots. There's nothing going on.
I got a 6.6 popped up.
Damn.
It just pops up.
Is that the same thing that Patrick has?
Yes.
He's got a 25.
Wow.
I think
Biggest
you
I
said
got was,
that's the highest they can get.
yeah, I got a 10.6 over there. That's the highest I've got. But it flashes. It doesn't stay. It just pops on and off.
Isn't that ironic when they hit that horn? I said, damn, Tom Fernandez, and it was him. He's an idiot. Ooh, put the thermal against my ass real quick.
Sorry, I've been trying to get over to you.
48.8.
Nice. What are you getting on yours?
I got a 10.6 over there and 5.5 upstairs.
Okay. He's all the way up at 48.
Good gosh.
Anything crazy out of the cam?
Nothing.
And with the cameras, it's not always a real-time catch. I do send the videos over to YouTube after I splice them together for y'all, and I watch them on my computer. You guys most of the time watch them on your TV, so I don't always follow up with the cams in real time. I just figured you would have a shit ton of fun with that,
Oh, God, yeah.
playing with it in actual haunted spaces, so you can see how they work.
Definitely learning from it.
Now that whole setup, just so you know, I mean, I'm talking battery pack, cable, the camera itself, software, just for pricing wise, so you know. There's Philadelphia Alley, so you know. Who else is coming here? So Jennifer.
Mine said 8, like the number 8.
Okay.
It said it 3 times.
Okay.
Oh no. It said morning twice and Georgia twice.
Okay. Well, you don't know yet. The
Right
88.
after you said Georgia, they said football.
Uh-oh, we got a bulldog on our tour.
Ever. It said ever.
Oh.
Why's the colors change?
So that thing is trying to scare you. So it also growls. We just turn the volume down. We don't do all that stuff. We just like the word thing. So when it's going red, it just recognizes the word because that thing's listening to the radio stations the same way the other ones are.
Oh, okay.
That's what the numbers up here are. And it's just going through all the hertz of the radio. Did you break everything?
No, the battery.
Did you bring more?
No.
Oh, it just
Good thing I brought 4.
I don't remember what it was on.
It's okay.
Okay?
I'll take and swap them up. Here, you're going to point it outwards of our circle, just trying not to film the people that are down there. You guys see my point, like when they start coming towards us? And I'm going to put yours on record already.
It said obvious.
You're on record. This guy's a smartass.
Like it said, like,
I'm gonna put it on.
obviously.
Yeah, this guy's a smartass. So this particular location, just so you know, I was actually telling Patrick on the way in here, like, oh, we have the whole place for ourselves except for one little group down there. Normally this place is packed. So you locals, have you ever been down here before?
Mm-mm.
All right, so this is Philadelphia Alley. Every ghost tour comes down here. I was actually going to take this out of my route, but this guy follows me around. So I start with his origin story. He will forever live in my route because he only followed me. So here's how this goes. What you got now?
I like that.
What's the question?
saying? The ghosty stings.
It's okay, what do we got?
Well, now they're saying relax, lean, lean. I have the thumb, groaning. No, I'm just saying. I think there was sex going on here.
Yes.
Damn, they're lucky.
I'm just saying. Relax,
So
lean, tip, groaning.
Just the tip.
Oh, I thought it was leave it in.
like, what kind of prostitution is going on down here? Leave a tip.
I'm
So
just.
whatever it was, it cost $888.
Expensive back in the 70s. She must have pretty good.
She
Or
platinum.
he, for that matter.
Platinum.
Platinum. You guys are killing me tonight.
I brought dollars.
$888.
No,
Sure.
$8.
Yeah, $8.
This
I
place.
can't tell for sure, but it sounded like it said Allie.
Damn, yours is the one that's not recording either. Okay, I'll write it down for sure. Let's get through the history here, and then I'll tell you what is going on. If you want to continue listening in on your spirit boxes, by all means do so. I know it's hard to do when you're, as fast as I talk, but that's why we record everything. If you guys ignore me, I'm okay with it. Just keep yours on mute because I want to get through the history. It gets really warm down here, so I will breeze through this. Even though it's 75 degrees down here, it's probably, what is the temperature down here, ambient?
It says 79.1.
Yeah.
I got 80 something.
Yep. So it's
84,
about right.
83.
It gets real humid down here. This used to be called Dueler's Alley. This is where some of the duels used to occur for the city of Charleston. So that's why every ghost tour comes down here. They all tell the same damn story. I'm going to tell you that story, but I'm going to give you a few extra details because you're ghost hunting. You're not on a cheesy campfire and marshmallow kind of ghost tour. Let's get into it. A doctor moves down here from Rhode Island. So where's my Ouija board? You're going to be looking for the initials RI for Rhode Island in that order. So the doctor's name is Dr. Joseph Brown Ladd. For those of you listening in on spirit boxes, if the word brown shows up from brown-eyed girl, it's not coincidence. We get it all the time. It's part of his name. Moving on. Get it as soon as I said it.
Yeah.
He moves down here because he's supposed to get married to his fiancée, Amanda. Now, Amanda just inherited a lot of money from her dead parents. She has an attorney helping her out with all of this cash flow. The attorney thinks that Dr. Ladd is just after her money. The attorney tells Amanda, get rid of the doctor. He's going to take your cash. So doctor moves down here to Charleston to prove that he's not after her money. He's going to start his medical practice down here. On his way into town, he had a coachman, and the coachman set him up to be robbed and killed. It wasn't a very good start to his stay here in Charleston. And well, it's also like having a really bad Uber driver in today's world, if we're going to put things in perspective. A lot of younger folks in this group tonight. They don't know what the hell a coachman is all the time. So with that, somebody was walking by and seen what was about to happen because he knew the coachman. And the somebody walking by was named Ralph Isaacs. Do those initials sound familiar to you at all? Yeah, that's exactly why we do this. I bought that device that Jennifer is using because we were getting the letters RI all the time on a regular spirit box that I was catching back at the office. So I bought that device to get it very specific, and we've had it, we'll just say about half a dozen times since I bought it, only with Ralph's name though. Moving on. Ralph tells the doctor, hey dude, I know this guy, the coachman. He's gonna try to kill you. Come with me. I got friends at 59 Church Street. You can rent a room from them. You'll be safe and good to go. Well, Doc took him up on that offer, and they became friends. The longer the doctor stays here in Charleston, the more money he's making. Proving his point, he's not after Amanda's money. He's getting his own. She gets wind of this up in Rhode Island. She's moving down so they can be married, and Dr. Ladd then became known as the Whistling Doctor. This is why I hate this so much. Every haunted city you will ever visit is going to have a cliched whistling ghost. We all have one. This one just happens to be a doctor. So, it's going to be another tour coming out of that wall, just so you guys know, it's not ghosts like walking through ivy. He'll come all the way through, so we'll just split the seas. How's it going, man? Good.
That was what I hear his voice echo off the wall. It's like,
Start looking down and see that you don't really like I don't recognize you. Keep going. Bring it in, guys. I'll circle up so I don't have to shout for that group. There we go. I'm going to show you.
So why are we in Dueler's Alley? Dr. Ladd and Ralph go see plays together, but they can't sit next to each other because the doctor gets better seats. That's the hierarchy of Charleston. He makes more money. So they go see Richard III one night, and on their way home, they're talking about the actress that they just saw. Doc thought she was great. Ralph did not. Got another group coming through, so we'll actually all push forward.
Hi guys.
We're doing story time.
I love story time.
What you got?
We're all fucked. We just walked over there.
That's okay.
See the child.
I started singing Electric Avenue, and the radio literally started playing Electric Avenue. Right! I listen to it in my car all the time. Joy. She just got back from the office.
What in her box?
It was okay. We lost track like 3 times.
We
just got done
got a better
yeah.
seat.
talking about the girl.
Yeah, so they're arguing about this actress that they just saw, and Doc thought she was great, Ralph didn't, and then when they separated, Ralph went to go see his friends at the newspaper and placed an ad in the paper telling the whole city of Charleston what he thought of the doctor. Kind of like, you're a disgrace to society, man. And Doc saw the ad, but rebutted with, let's go to Jeweler's Alley. We're gonna settle this shit, somebody's gonna die. Keep in mind that this whole argument started over an actress. I like to point out how dumb shit was back in the 1700s. Anyway, the two gents come down, back to back, take their 10 paces away from each other. They turn, and Doc pointed his gun in the air and shot his one bullet. He did not want to kill his friend. He just wanted to have the courage and bravery to show up. What do you have?
I'm a musical fan, and I don't know any of the stories, but I was singing the Hamilton's part where he points his gun to the sky right before you said that, so it was just very weird.
Ralph still has this one bullet, and he puts it in the kneecap on the doctor. The doc didn't die. He fell to the ground. His friends picked him up and took him home to 59 Church Street, where he died 10 days later on November 2nd of 1786. I'm going to point out 2 things about that last statement. It's 1786. Gunshot wounds are a lot different back then than what we know of them now. He is a doctor who probably just thought he had lead poisoning and tried to bleed it out himself, but obviously he failed because he died. Every ghost tour is telling their guests to listen for those whistles. We have 3 cameras running, my voice recorder. In the event we're going to capture a disembodied whistle, it's going to show up on one of those 4 devices. However, the spirit boxes that are recording, when I'm going through your spot check, I'm listening to minute 1, 5, 10, 15, 20. You see the intervals. I'm not looking for anything. Whatever happens in that 1 minute, if anything at all, it goes in your notes. However, I can't tell you how many times the whistling part of a song shows up and then the word doctor immediately after from a commercial. Happens all the time. So just take that for what it's worth. If you're going to try this on your own and walk all the way through this alley without me, with the voice recorders from your phone, looking for those whistles, just remember that every local knows the damn story. Anybody walking up and down Cumberland or Queen Street, we all throw a whistle down the alley. It's just something we do here. Let's talk about how I got kicked out of here. That's the fun part. The alley didn't always come all the way through the way we came in. There used to be a wall halfway between where we're standing and Cumberland Street. The reason why is because this was called Cow Alley. This is where they kept all the livestock for the city of Charleston. So cows, goats, and chickens were down here. Now, why am I telling you this? It's because they started down there and started building it slowly towards us. That means those bricks are older than the ones we're standing on. Those were sun-dried bricks for slave children. There's a full handprint from a slave child down there, and fingerprint swipes, I'll wait for this group to pass and I'll finish this part up. Coming all the way through?
Yep, coming all the way through.
All
Excuse
right.
us.
Oh, you're good, you're good.
Hey, look at this. It keeps going up. Well, it spiked at 5. Look at it.
Yeah. 5:30. I saw as high.
Isn't that weird?
Yeah.
I'm not
Joseph
touching.
Brown Lad. So, back to our sun-dried bricks down there. I used to take my folks down there for a history lesson. There's nothing paranormal about that brick. You guys already know how I feel about cemeteries. That kid is not staring at that brick in the afterlife. So I would give the history lesson and then go show them the brick. Well, November 26th of 2020, my entire group stopped at that brick around a giant circle and waited for something to happen with the gear I handed them that night. I know nothing's going to happen, and I'm trying to shoo them along because we're also standing outside the dining room window of the beautiful mansion at the end of the alley. I didn't realize that we were out of bounds for tours that time of night. I was still new at this. So, the new owner of that mansion came out screaming his head off at me. My daughter was on the tour that night. She's about 14 years old at the time, thought it was hysterical. Her dad's getting yelled at. Of course it's funny. We moved on. The next day was Thanksgiving. I don't tour on holidays, especially Thanksgiving, because I used to work in upper management for Walmart. You guys fight over towels on Thanksgiving? You scarred me for life? I don't do Thanksgiving anymore. The next day was November 28th. I called my partner that brought me into tourism and I told him what happened so I could figure out what to do next. Again, new guy. And he laughed just like my daughter did. And he said, dude, it's residential and it's off limits. You're only allowed to go down halfway. Reroute your group tonight. Well, it's Black Friday and I'm sold out again. I don't have history and stories this way because I've never had anything happen over there. I told my group I've never had anything happen and I'm into vampires, not pirates. I would normally tell you a pirate story next, but I've been kicked out of there too. We'll talk about that later. But before we left the space, somebody with a spirit box heard the name Anne. I did not tell them which pirate we are going to be investigating. The female pirate, Anne Bonny, who happens to have a lot of lovers, which is where your sexy term may have come from on your spirit box. So, before we went around the corner, and then I told them what I did know about pirates. Again, not my thing, so I was like, all right, guys, let's talk about pirates. And then somebody else heard the number 300. I didn't know what that meant. We were there on November 28th of 2020. Anne Bonny's trial for piracy was November 28th of 1720, the exact 300-year anniversary of her pirate trial. I'm seeing the look of shock and amazement on your faces. I was pissed off. Let me explain. I have a master's degree in creative writing. All of my other bachelor degrees are all in writing and English of some sort. I like facts and data. Pirate stories come from pirate lore. Pirate lore was written 100 years after the golden age of piracy, the days of Blackbeard. Whenever you guys found something like 300, I had to read a shit ton of books to verify what the hell was going on with one piece of evidence. Now the problem now is I've been 4 years of researching documentaries, books, video games, you name it, about pirates, and I've researched it all and collaborated where's the most common themes. Now I can't even tell the story because we've been kicked out of that space. So what's going to happen now is we're going to go up and around the corner, and we are going to take this camera and we're going to be looking for an apparition. I'm going to tell you the history of the apparition first, and we're going to be sitting on a nice little bench, and you guys are still going to continue to listen to your spirit boxes if you'd like, but we're going to get all 3 cameras going up this graveyard to see if we can capture this apparition. I can make my own shit up. When it does start back up again, it's like the card is red. The button you want is right here. Pop up in the middle column. Yep. Power. Back on that. Bless you. All right, bless you. What do you got?
You won't get to me.
Anything coming out of yours?
While we're walking over here, I got to hear something. And then say, mine said lucky too.
Didn't somebody say they were good?
Oh, I thought I heard Macy, but it could have been lucky.
Somebody's getting lucky in the alley over there. What?
Now I need to look up the church. I don't know. There's a design of the church. Love it. All right, everybody. Let's talk about why we're here. Every ghost tour comes up there. So again, normally I would be across the street with you guys talking about pirates and let them have this one because it is their last show and tell. Yeah, I would just let them have it. But sorry, I had to stop and think for a second. But the reason why they're all up there is because right inside the gate of that graveyard, there's a sign. It reads, "There's no ghost here but the Holy Ghost." They don't want jerks like me with cameras like Cheyenne's going up there trying to capture what actually happened. Here's what happened. In 1888, here's your 888.
Wow.
Young lady passed away. Her name was Sue Howard Hardy. Anybody tell me what her initials spell out?
Shush.
Yes. Exactly. It's cheesy, it's campy, but we've gotten it on the word generator device and the Ouija board device. So, and that would be while I was telling the pirate story, so you can see the correlation. So here's how this goes. She died 6 days after her stillborn child. Very sad story. I know, I'm always telling you about dead kids. There's going to be one more tonight. But I know, I'm sorry. It's just the way stories go.
Especially that time.
Yeah. 99 years later, June 16th of 1987, a young photographer named Harry Reynolds was taking pictures of all of our cemeteries. He's putting a book together. Well, 1987, and he's developing his own film. And he finds a full apparition in one of his photographs. It's 1987, which means he doesn't have the tech that we have now to be able to analyze it. So he sends it off to Kodak. I don't think I have to explain what Kodak is to this group, do I? Sometimes teenagers feel like, oh, yeah. Sometimes the teenagers think it's a bear. I'm just going to put that out there. But anyway, Kodak can prove and verify at the camera that he said that he used and that the picture was not altered in any way. So now we have this super great apparition. It's usually, in the top 100 if you Google it, of best apparitions ever caught, and that's why they all love to show it off. However, the reason why I don't like the story is because the picture is cursed to females. I mainly see females in my groups. Like, I think it was 2 nights ago, it was all females. Like, all 10 people, all females. It was craziness. But anyway, females that are handling it in a digital format, or the picture itself, obviously the original, but a digital like a tablet or your phone, are said to get the same symptoms we talked about at the beginning. So the headache, the nausea, the dizziness. Not so bad, but pregnant females that are handling it, not going to have a good pregnancy based off the gist of the story of it being a stillborn child. I don't want to be the guy where some honeymooner showed up and 9 months later I cursed their family. I am going to show you the picture 2x2. I'm going to ask that everybody here don't touch my damn tablet. I'll go down 2x2. Yeah, exactly. Again, I don't want to be that guy. So as they're wrapping things up, we will go up there and get about 5 to 7 minutes worth of footage. And the thing that this other group behind me is going to be doing the exact same thing and waiting in line to get up there because they all stop up there. We'll go across the street. We'll go play with the new story I'm toying around with. You guys can tell me how I did with it, and we'll kind of take it from there. It's another type of apparition story. I found a few facts, but I'm still working on others. We'll see what else we capture with it. So we're going to let these folks come through. How you doing, man?
Good. How are you?
You're good. Alright, have you guys seen this before?
No.
Your apparition is right here.
No.
Woman praying over her own grave, baby basket's right next to it.
Oh, wow.
So I think that's what her like main
Apparition. Baby basket. Most people miss that. It's working out perfect. 2 by 2 by 2. Well, you guys will be 2 by 1. See the apparition now? It's my breast smell like. And that's
My breast smells. What?
That looks like a real person sitting there.
There's another one they have as a baby sitting on the top, supposedly here in Charleston.
So, pretty crazy stuff.
When I did the Bulldog tour, one of those tours with
I'll
Brian,
explain what we're going to be doing on our last stop after this. So in the event that we don't go to the other story, the next stop will be our last stop. Here's what's going to happen. We're going to be doing the Estes method. So for those of you that are not familiar with this, here's how it's going to go down. There's 2 people sitting right in front of me. So Jenna and Julie are going to sit on a bench, and they're not going to know the history of the space tonight. I will not tell you anything tonight. So I'll take everybody else, except for one other person who I haven't chosen yet, and I will go teach them the history of the space. Now, when we come back, I will give these 2 young ladies blindfolds, and I will talk to them as if they're the ghost, and they will literally spout off whatever they're hearing, so that way it looks like a conversation. It's a lot of fun. We're working one of 2 ways. It's super great where it is a full-blown conversation, and the other piece is, it might not happen, we'll all have a good chuckle. You guys will be silly things that are going to come out of this.
like hearing lies. So and his wife, and I thought a lot of the wife was.
Third person, Macy, is also going to be sitting on the bench. Your job, you're going to be wearing a virtual reality camera. This camera is going to actually give her images made from artificial intelligence that should correlate with the conversation that is being had between me, Jenna, and Julie. So
What's her name
it is
does
so
this?
cool. Now, with your portion, you
that
might
British
get 0
girl.
images.
No.
The average is 4 for the time frame that we do this in. Sometimes we get all the way up to 12. That's been the max so far. Those images are 45% accurate to the ghost that we will be talking to. It is insane. I've never seen the same image come up twice. I've been doing this experiment with the virtual reality for over a year, and you will get all of the images back, and we will all be able to see what Macy saw before we part ways. But those images will also go in your report and ran through Google Lens. So in the event something shows up in those images that I have no idea what it is, then Google Lens will give me a little bit more of a descriptor for it. If I find something relevant, you'll get the screenshots from that search history. So I do a lot of research on this. The blindfold test is about 30% accurate, just so you guys have that idea, but the imagery is really what brings this thing to life. There is going to be a 4th thing that we're experimenting with tonight, just because it's new, and I'm going to be introducing it as a new device starting next week. So I'm going to use Chris's little bit of expertise when we get over there. And what that device is going to do, and I don't know if you've seen this yet, they created a microphone that can hear EMF, the same devices that Cheryl and Patrick are using. So
Never seen that one.
What's that? No, they actually just call it an EMF mic.
Never heard that.
So it's going to be like a buzzing sound. That's what he'll be hearing. We're going to record it from the voice recorder I've been using all night. So my new one for this is going to be coming in. So we're going to test it for a few nights. When I have experts like Chris come in, I want to see what he's getting out of it. And it's directional. So he can literally point this thing, and I have it set up on a tree where he can point it and hear if there's any EMF in that direction. Like, it's pretty nuts. The great thing about this is the first night we used it, we used it at the Pinckney Mansion site as me just walking around with it, and we did capture something, and inside of the little like EMF spike that I caught, there's 2 voices in there, and they're distinctly female and male. I can't make them out, but it is a great start to what's actually going on inside of an EMF field. So to take Patrick's further knowledge of the things he was asking me earlier, this is a new theory that I'm working on that will hopefully pan out to where somebody can listen to all of the spaces we've been to tonight, and I'll be able to go through. I don't have to listen to it. I can put it in the software and see where the blips are, and that's all I have to listen to. And if I get something in those blips, then I can listen to it and analyze it, slow it down, speed it up, reverse it, see what's going on with it. But there's a lot of technology that goes into that, but it's very quick. Once you know what you're doing inside of those audio softwares, which when I get normal EVPs, I analyze them that way anyway. So that way I can see what's really going on inside. Especially when we get them straight from the disembodied voices that's not radio chatter coming out of Jennifer. So Marty's looking at me like, holy shit, this is a lot of science. But there's a lot that goes into it. However, it's a super simple process. It's when you find something is when it gets a little bit more in depth. So Chris, you'll have fun with this. We're going to put away your thermal when we get there, and you're just going to have a set of headphones for yourself, and you can walk around the whole park all you want. I'm going to prefer that you do that, so that way we can get different readouts from that particular park. So we didn't get anything from it at all last night, like a couple of little blips, there's nothing there, but they basically stayed at one point with it. So I'm going to have you walk around the park and see what you get.
Sounds like a plan.
Wow, they're really not moving.
Yep. Flare. Yeah. Yeah, it's on the butt here. Battery packs.
Chris, you want to make sure that camera stays on the left? You'll flip it. There you go. So our YouTube video will now be horizontal for that portion of time. Okay. Yeah, YouTube doesn't like the flippies. You didn't know. You gave him my business card, right? Okay.
Yeah. My thing just said.
So I flipped it while we were standing there. It's weird to see how much the tombs and some of the stones retain heat throughout the day. I mean, my God. Sucker is hot.
What is?
The tombstones and some of the, like, if you, not this, not the triangle, but the one behind it that you can't see. Look how hot it is. It's still at 77 something today. I'm trying to get it on there.
Yeah, the one you can't see.
And that one over there, the two banger. Look how hot they are.
That one. Why are they? I feel like they would be cold.
Well, with them sitting absorbing all the heat
Oh, the heat. I don't like
from the day.
that, yeah.
But it's still, how long ago did it go down, you know?
It's been like 3 hours.
I mean, granted, they're 70 something now, 76,
But still.
80.
Hmm.
Try and move it slowly. Don't try and jerk around.
Any words? Nothing? Anything else crazy?
I spiked at 3.1 and that was it.
I'll take a 3.1 over here. Anything nuts on your end?
No, just hot tombstones.
Hot tombstones. They hang on to the heat in the daytime.
Hell yeah.
Take a little 3.1. Yeah, that's the beauty of it. I love when it's random. Because then you know it's not coming from a man-made object. You got anything else going on, Cheyenne?
I moved down there and I don't know. It looks like the exact same thing that I was seeing. I know you said it was the same, but I moved way down there, like where Cheryl was. So the little one's on the picture of that.
Do what? Sure.
I'm trying to get him to come towards it. Yeah, I got just a random 3.1, but it was like up here, and then it went away.
See this? Some of these are amazing to look at.
So when do you get to do your thing?
I don't know. You want to do it
No.
instead?
No.
Before you do it.
No, okay.
Because you did the Estes last time.
We're going to head down this way and explain the last steps here. Because I want her to have to take extra steps.
Oh, I
We're going to
appreciate
come
that.
down to you so I can explain what's happening now. You can go ahead and stop that